Hello, good afternoon. This is David Soto talking to you, and today are my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of June 13th through June 17th, 2022. Okay, and what I'll do here is I will look at all the major Forex currency pairs on a 30-minute time frame. Okay, and I do that just so we can see what happened this past week. All right, and then I will compare that to the higher time frames, such as the 1 hour, 4 hour chart, with some zoom in and zoom out. And then, based on my experience, I'm going to try to give you my very best analysis of what I think is going to happen this coming week. All right. So, to begin with, that damn US dollar went up again. Now, I'm not pissed, but the US dollar is very strong. It is still the strongest currency in the world, so it's no surprise. But what I think is going to happen is that the US dollar is getting ready to tank. Okay, I think it's getting ready to drop. Okay, I don't know. It is the long term. It is slated to go down. Okay, so we're going to see a lot of up and downs. I'm going to show you that here in a minute. Now, if the US dollar does drop, that means the euro, Great British pound, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, all the other major currency pairs are going to go up. Okay, so that's good for a lot of people who want that to go up anyhow. So let's look at Euro USD, which I have pulled on the chart right now. Okay, with Euro USD, we see that it definitely dropped this past week. So if this one's dropping, the US dollar is going up. So what happens here? What do we do? So as you can see right now, this came in right at the tail end on Friday. So this is a pretty fresh signal showing you to go up. So we hit a pretty strong level of support. Let's look at we look at the 1 hour. Basically the same thing. We had a lot of red arrows and finally dropped. It's running sideways there for quite a while. If you look at the 4 hour time frame, like I said, we get a little bit bigger picture of what the market is doing. So you see here that the price was going up and started to come back down. Now it's getting ready to go back up again. Okay, so technically or theoretically, this right here is called a pullback. Okay, we're going into an uptrend, but we had a pullback going down. Now we're getting ready to go back up again. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And if I zoom out, you can see, look at this. We had a long downtrend for quite some time. Okay, ever since the beginning of the year, it has been steadily dropping. So I don't know. It's my belief that this is getting ready to go into an uptrend. If I pull up my Excalibur trend indicator, watch this. Okay, I'm gonna show you something. Poof! Look at that. Change the colors. So look at this. This is on a 4 hour chart showing you the same thing basically. But if we look at the daily, and of course my magnificent trend indicator does not work on the daily or weekly charts, only the 4 hour and below. Okay, so you can trade on the smaller time frames. But if you look at the daily, it shows to go up, right? So like I said, the price went up, we had a pullback. If we look at the weekly, we see kind of the same thing basically. And if I zoom in a little bit so you can see better, we see here we are definitely going to be going up. It's just going to take some time. If we look in the past, we see right here on this blue arrow, the price went up and pulled back and then went up. Okay, so typically, normally in the Forex world, the past will repeat itself. Okay, we will see the same patterns over and over and over again. So we are seeing the same type of situation here. So even here, the price dropped, pulled back, dropped, pulled back, kept on dropping. Now we finally hit a very strong level of support and the price is starting to go up. And here you see the price go up, pull back, go up, pull back like that. And over the next probably 3 or 4 months, maybe even 6 months, this price is going to be going up. Okay, if this continues to go up, that means the US dollar is going to go down. So what's going to happen this week if I go back to my magnificent trend indicator, which I developed, keep your charts on a 1 hour time frame, okay, and or 30 minute. 30 minutes fine also. And what I would do, here's what I would do, is I would not buy right now. I would wait for the second blue arrow, okay, and then buy. If you zoom out, you see here, look at this in the past, okay, we had many blue arrows all going up, and eventually they all close. So you could technically place a trade on every blue arrow, okay, using a 30-minute time frame. And right now we got a blue arrow. Do not place a trade right now. Wait for the second blue arrow and then place your trade. And then hopefully we'll have multiple blue arrows all going up, and then we can close all those in profit. Okay, if you happen to place a trade on every arrow, then we can close all those trades in profit when we get the next red arrow. Makes sense? So this week, probably the next 2 weeks, I would be expecting this to go up. GBP USD. Let's look at Great British Pound versus the US dollar. So this past week, it definitely dropped again because the US dollar gained. That's okay. And again, we have a blue arrow showing to go up. So the question is it going to go up? If we look at the 4 hour time frame, we see pretty much the same thing, right? So, wow, look at this. If I zoom out in the 4 hour time frame, bam. So it has definitely been dropping, and wow, I don't know. We started to go up here, pull back, and it's going to go up again. So it's my belief that same situation. This is going to be going up long term. If we get my Excalibur trend indicator real quick, and I'm going to show you on the daily chart shows to go up, okay, and the weekly chart shows to go up as well. Let me delete this trend line here. The weekly chart shows to go up as well. So again, the price went up, had a pullback here, so you see better. The price went up here and then pulled back. So, but long term, it's definitely going to be going up. And right now, it looks like a really good time to buy. If you go to the 30-minute time frame, it shows to buy. So the smaller time frames are matching the bigger time frames. So I would definitely want to buy. So what I would do this week is I would get my magnificent trend indicator. Keep your charts on the 30-minute time frame. Perfectly fine. You can do 1 hour, but I like the 30-minute because you get multiple entries, okay, that you could place a trade. And do not buy right now. Wait for the next blue arrow and then place your trade. And then every time you get a blue arrow, you can place additional trades. You might get 4 or 5 trades. And then what you do is always close those trades when you get the next red arrow. Okay, does that make sense? I keep repeating myself. That's okay. But I just wanted to reiterate and impress upon you that this is definitely going to be going up probably for the next 2 weeks, and you're going to have multiple opportunities to get in this. Okay, so don't worry about jumping in this right this very minute. I would give it at least 24 hours before I go place any trades after the market open. Now here, let's look at Australian dollar versus the US dollar. This one has dropped all week steadily, but there's no blue arrow. So very interesting. So will it drop more? I don't know. If we look at the 4 hour time frame, we have a blue arrow, red arrow, no blue arrow here. So it is my belief, based on what you're seeing right here, that this will drop more. Okay, so this one has not found its strong level of support, although we are very close to it. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you look here at Great British Pound, this one came in right at the close of the market on Friday. Same with the euro. Okay, so this one has not come in yet. So it'll probably come in on Monday sometime. Okay, that's almost a guarantee. All these currency pairs follows similar patterns. Okay, so do expect that. And what I would do this week is, well, like I said, keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame. This one does not have a blue arrow yet, but wait for a blue arrow. But then I would probably most likely wait for the second blue arrow. Okay, and that's the same with the sell. Wait for the second red arrow if you're trying to sell. Okay, that's the best way to handle this. And now let's look at US dollar versus the Swiss franc. Okay, with USD CHF. Okay, this one has definitely gone up. I already told you that the US dollar had been gaining this past week, and you can clearly see this. And of course, on Friday we hit a strong level of resistance, and it's not going down, but it's just sitting right there at that resistance. And the next step is for it to drop. Okay. Now, of course, this was a tail end of the market on Friday, and there's very little movement, anyways. But the fact that we did hit a strong level of resistance shows that this will be going down. If I look at the 4-hour time frame, okay, look at that. We had a long drop, pullback, another drop. The fact that this red arrow is this red arrow is lower than the previous high red arrow indicates that this is going to a downtrend. So when you have a high followed by a lower high, that means you're going to go down, because the next red arrow, you might have a price drop for a while, form a blue arrow, and then go back up again. But the next, blue arrow and red arrow is going to be even lower. Okay, so that is what we'll be looking for. So long term is going to drop. If I get my Excalibur trend indicator real quick, and we look at the daily, look at that. The daily shows the drop. Okay, so it dropped. We had a pullback. It's going to drop again. And if you look at the weekly, it's basically the same thing. All right. So we dropped. We had a pullback. So it's definitely getting ready to drop again. It's showing the drop. And so what you need to do, obviously, keep your magnificent trend indicator on a 30-minute time frame, and wait for the next red arrow to place your trade. Okay, does that make sense? Do not trade on this first arrow right here. Wait for the next, and that could take a day or two before you see that happen. All right, so just be patient on this one and hang in there. Next is US dollar Japanese yen. And by the way, if I'm born, just let me know, because Forex is really boring, but it's okay. I want to try to, assist you as best I possibly can to, help you make more money. So with USD JPY, again, the price went back up this week. I was shocked, but notice here, this is really interesting. We have a strong level of resistance here, but no red arrow. Really interesting. So what does that mean? It means I have no idea what it's going to do. But it's okay, because if you go to the 4-hour, it shows to sell. So we've already hit that strong level of resistance. And this price has been going up for quite some time. Now, if you look at this, it's just riding sideways here. When you have the price riding sideways, like you see here, typically what that means is that, well, number one, it means the market is indecision. It doesn't really know which way to go. The bulls and the bears are fighting, so there's like a stalemate going on in the market right now, and that generally indicates there's going to be a reversal. Okay, so I feel very strongly that this will be going down. Okay, there's no guarantee, of course, but that's what I think is going to happen. Now, if I get my Excalibur trend indicator, we look at the daily chart, it shows to sell. We get the weekly chart, it shows to sell as all. Now, you see that it did repaint and go up even higher. Very, very interesting. Okay, so this is a very fresh signal. Okay, and it's going to be dropping. Okay, it's going to be dropping, but it's definitely not going to drop right away. And based on what has happened already, I would think that it might go up even more. If you look at the weekly, or the monthly rather, it shows to go down. But again, you know, this is very fresh signal. I'll show you something real quick. If I mark this resistance here at this point, and then I go back to the daily, look at this. We're almost there right now. Okay, so we're almost at a very strong level of resistance. If it breaks this, then it'll keep going up. My suspicion, my theory is that it's not going to. It could, but I have a strong feeling that this will be going down. I don't know. Please do not quote me on that, but we had a very strong bullish trend already and still in a bullish trend. I would not sell right now, but here's what we can do. If you put get your magnificent trend indicator, all right, and keep it charged on a 30-minute time frame, okay, and just like I said before, wait for the next red arrow and then place your trade. So what might happen? We're here at a pretty strong, we're at a strong level of resistance right here. This could break and go higher, and it's very possible, we've already seen this, where we could have a red arrow followed by a higher red arrow, which sucks, but it could happen. Okay, that's why I don't want you to trade on the first red arrow. Okay, and this already came in on Thursday, but if you have a trade open already, that's okay. You can keep it and hold it. But if you get another red arrow, go ahead and place a trade, and then you know you probably get multiple red arrows. If you look in the past, okay, we had a lot of red arrows. We had a red arrow here that went back up, but eventually it all dropped. Okay, and then you had a real nice uptrend here, and then now we're getting ready to go into a downtrend again. How far will it drop? I don't know, but I would expect to probably get a few thousand pips or points out of this deal. Okay, if it drops down to here, that's already 3,000. So you can really get a lot of profit out of this Japanese yen. Problem is, you can also lose a lot of money. Okay, so be very conservative with your lot size, and just be careful how many trades you place at one time. Don't place more than 5 trades at once. Okay, just to be safe. Okay. Now moving on to US dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Okay, it's last in the lineup, and we definitely see that the price gained this past week, shot up, right? No surprise, right? And this Friday, by the way, was the non-farm payroll for the Canadian dollar, and it did okay, not too bad, but the US dollar was definitely very strong this past week, and regardless of what happened with the Canadian dollar, US dollar is overtaken, all right? And I don't think that non-farm payroll really matters too much anyways, but we do not have a red arrow, which is a little bit interesting. Will we get a red arrow soon? I have a strong feeling we will. Look here, we had a long downtrend and then a pullback. So will it go up more? I don't know. I don't think it's going to go up too much more. It's already starting to drop a little bit, but there's no red arrow, like I said. Let me get my Excalibur trend indicator, right? And if you go to the daily, look at this. See, the 4 hour, like I told you, the 4 hour shows the buy, and my magnificent trend indicator only works on the 4 hour and below. But right now, if you look at the daily, it shows to sell. You look at the weekly, it shows the buy. Very interesting. Okay, now I already showed this before in the previous video, but the thing is, I think it's going to drop. Okay, now the weekly is stronger than the daily, so long term, yes, it's going to go up. But with the daily here showing to sell, okay, we look here, we have a blue arrow followed by a lower. We could have a red arrow followed by a higher. I don't know. All right, but typically we have, you know, every color arrow is followed by the opposite. So it's what's been happening right here. I think the price is going to drop. Okay, probably for the next couple weeks. The 4 hour shows to go up, so I could expect it to go up a little bit higher in the beginning of on Monday, maybe even Tuesday. But by the middle of the week, by the middle of this week, it's going to drop back down, and it's probably going to continue to drop for the next week or two. And like I said, if you go to the daily, it shows to sell. So we already got a strong level of support right here. And that would probably be about where it's going to drop to anyways. And then eventually, when you get a blue arrow, it's going to go back up. And in the long term, in the grand scheme of things, this particular pair is going to be going up. Okay, I think so. While other USD pairs are going to be dropping, this one most likely will be going up long term. Okay, so anyhow, keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame using my magnificent trend indicator. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. So wait till you get a red arrow. We do not have one yet. Wait till you get a red arrow, and then wait for the second red arrow. Place your trade on the second red arrow, just like I keep telling you. That way you don't have any pullbacks. Okay. Now, if you always look in the past and say, well, if I would have placed a trade here, I'd be in perfect shape, right? Even here, okay, you get a blue arrow and not a second blue arrow. So it's very possible that this could drop and you get another blue arrow. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to develop a red arrow this week or not, but I have a feeling that we are getting close. Okay, but just be patient one way or another. If you get a blue arrow, then place a buy trade. If you get a red arrow, wait for the second red arrow before you place in your trade. Does that make sense? So anyhow, that will conclude my weekly trade predictions. If you have any questions about any other currency pair, I don't care. Just hit me up on Facebook, and I will do my very best to try and help you and make some sense of this crazy Forex market. Please contact me on Facebook. I'll put a link below in the description of this video for my personal Facebook. Please contact me there first. I also put a link for my private Facebook group where you can join my Facebook group, post any questions or comments there, so myself or other traders, we can assist you, and we can also collaborate as a team. That's the whole thing. Also, if you have not checked out my new magnificent trend indicator, there's a link below in the video for that as well, okay, with a video. So anyhow, I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week ahead. Please let me know how I can help you. Thank you so much.